With Barack Obama in the White House, it's never been more important that gun owners know exactly where every candidate for president stands on the Second Amendment. Hi, I'm Dudley Brown. I'm the Executive Director of the National Association for Gun Rights, and I need your help finding out where the Republican candidates for president stand on the Second Amendment. Now, with your Second Amendment rights on the line, it's just too important to sit this one out. And frankly, after looking at the records of some of the leading Republican candidates on gun rights, I am very concerned. That's why I'm calling as many gun rights activists as I know, including you, asking you, no, really, I'm urging you to get involved. It's absolutely vital that you return your signed gun rights charge to the presidential candidates. Just as soon as you return your assigned gun rights charge, I will make sure that every presidential candidate who has not returned their gun rights survey gets a copy of your charge. As I told you, these are dangerous days for our Second Amendment freedoms. NAGR has mailed every Republican candidate for president a 2011 gun rights candidate survey, asking each candidate to return the survey 100% in favor of the Second Amendment. Unfortunately, a number of candidates on the Republican side have stonewalled gun owners on their Second Amendment stance. This is unacceptable. For example, so far, Mitt Romney has refused to respond to the gun rights survey, perhaps because when Mitt Romney was governor of ultra-liberal Massachusetts, he signed a bill to ban an entire class of firearms permanently. Now, would he do the same thing or even worse as President of the United States? I don't know, but you and I sure need to find out before it's too late. Now, we also know that Barack Obama is as anti-gun as they come. Now, let me take a second to remind you of the detrimental consequences to our Second Amendment rights should Barack Obama win the presidency again in 2012. President Obama and his anti-gun allies have their sights set on banning the private sales of all firearms between American citizens, banning certain types of hunting and self-defense ammunition that meet arbitrary conditions, banning standard magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, and Barack Obama and his left-wing cohorts might even shoot for one of their biggest goals, to ban semi-automatic rifles and all handguns. Now, you notice I didn't even mention the UN Small Arms Treaty yet. As you know, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have made it a priority to implement the United Nations Small Arms Treaty right here on American soil. What that means is the UN would be given the power to gut our Second Amendment rights. Now, it's just a well-known fact. Barack Obama is anti-gun. We know that. Gun owners know that. But where do the Republican candidates for president stand on your Second Amendment rights? I bet you'd like to find out. So would I. As I speak to you right now, only 3 candidates for president have returned their gun rights survey 100% in favor of the Second Amendment: Ron Paul, Michelle Bachmann, and Herman Cain. But that's it. So far, Rick Perry, Mitt Romney, the rest of the bunch, they won't even answer. I have heard nothing but silence from the rest of the field. Now, I know for a fact that Rick Perry has been getting an earful from pro-gun Americans like you for not answering his survey. His Texas consultants want him to keep quiet and hope he won't have to make a clear stand. They want him to say nothing, and so that he can do anything he wants to win votes if he's the Republican nominee. If a Republican like Perry, then, were to win the presidency, and we don't know where he stands on gun rights, how do you know he won't stab gun owners in the back and pass gun control legislation? That's what happened in the past, even by Republican presidents like the first George Bush, in a blatant attempt to curry favor with the liberal media. You and I must know before campaign season really kicks into full gear. However, I won't be able to alert and mobilize gun owners without your help. NAGR needs your help to hold these candidates accountable. Will you help NAGR crank up the pressure on the Republican candidates for president? Because such a massive effort won't be easy or cheap, I hope you'll agree to make a generous contribution of $50 or $100 and return your signed gun rights charge to the presidential candidates to help expose the Second Amendment records of all the presidential candidates. That's why your contribution of $50 or $100 or whatever you can afford to the National Association for Gun Rights and your signed gun rights charge to the presidential candidates is so vital. In fact, this is so critical. If you can afford more, I hope you will give. But whether you can afford $25 or even $2,000, I just ask you to contribute today. You know how hard it is to cut through all the campaign rhetoric and get down to the truth as these campaigns gain steam. After all, it sure can be difficult to tell the difference between a wolf and a sheep when they're both dressed the same. That's where you and I come in. I have sent an official National Association for Gun Rights presidential gun rights survey to every announced candidate for president, urging them to pledge 100% support for our gun rights. Now, if the candidates answer their NAGR survey, folks will know about it. If they refuse, folks will know about that too. And if they've made anti-gun public statements in the past, voted wrong, or even vetoed pro-gun bills, we'll make sure every one of our members are armed with the facts. Then, as the race goes on, we'll dramatically expand this effort, ensuring every gun owner knows exactly where each candidate stands. But if we're going to succeed, I'm going to need your immediate support for this absolutely critical program. So won't you help NAGR pressure the candidates to return their gun rights survey 100% in favor of our Second Amendment by returning your signed gun rights charge to the presidential candidates? Your help is critical. See, if you and I can flood the candidates' campaign offices with calls and emails demanding they answer their National Association for Gun Rights presidential survey, they'll figure out in a hurry. There's no ducking this one. And as the race intensifies, if we can raise all the funds necessary to do so, we'll turn up the heat even more, using mail, email, phone calls, hard-hitting newspaper ads, radio and TV, sending a strong message from the members and supporters of the National Association for Gun Rights. Every candidate will be held accountable for their records. Now, I don't know about you. I am determined to turn this country around.